Now let's talk dimensioning. In architectural drawing, we pretty much do all dimensioning in model space, and we use the annotative dimension style and text styles and multi-leader styles. Okay, and so the settings should be set up for you already. Let's look at them in the template. We'll go annotate and come down to our dim styles. Now let's go to our annotative style and let's take a look at the settings for it. Yeah, this is the text style we want to use. It's a certain font and size, okay? Colors should be by layer, all that stuff. Lines, I like to do them all by layer so that there's no confusion on, colors and line types and things like that. The style, we use architectural tick in architectural drawings. Text, we looked at that. We do with aligned with dimension line in architectural drawings so that the numbers are read from the bottom of the sheet or the right hand side of the sheet. Okay, that's the normal way of doing things in architecture. The fit, all of that is okay. Check yes for annotative. Units should be architectural. And I have the precision set very, very tight so that if you've made a mistake in placing your walls, you'll see it when you place a dimension. Okay, now, in architectural drawing, if a dimension is less than 1 foot, we don't put 0 feet and then however many inches. We just put the inches. Okay, so we would suppress the 0 feet. But if it's an even number of feet, like say 10 feet, 0 inches, we would still say 0 inches. So we leave that one turned on. And we don't do with alternate units or tolerances. Okay, now, I meant to make that. Okay, now when we place a dimension, we want, before we even start, we have to set our annotative scale. So in your floor plan drawing here in the properties, and if you don't have it open, just right click and go properties, okay? Down here under miscellaneous, annotation scale should be set at 1/4 inch equals 1 foot, because that's the scale we're going to use when we put this into a border and a title block, okay? And when we print. And then down here, show annotation objects always. And this will show you the annotation scale that it's set. So that should all be at 1/4 inch. Now, when we dimension floor plans, typically there's like 3 rows of dimensions on every side of the object. The row closest to the building will be doors and windows, and there will be walls also. And the next row out will be major walls, and then the final row will be the overall length. And we do that on each. We do it on each side of the drawing, each side of the object. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and place dimensions. But we don't have doors and windows in, so we're not going to dimension them. We'll be dimensioning the major walls and the overall sizes. And here's a way that will be the easiest and the cleanest way for you to do that is we'll start with a first dimension, and we'll go outside corner. And you got to look at your book to see how these are done here. So we'll go inside corner here. And I want to pull it a little bit further out than normal because we still have to do windows and window tags. Okay, and from here, I'll go the continue. You could hit it up here, or I have the menu bar loaded on the side. So we'll go continue, and then just follow the textbook, placing the same ones they have in the textbook for the walls. and then that goes to the end. Okay. Now I want to do a baseline dimension, and you do the pull down here and go to baseline, but I have to select which one I want to start with. So I'm going to go S on the keyboard for select. I'll choose this dimension here, and then go out to my overall size. Okay, now you're going to do that on all four sides of the building, but not including the ones for the doors and the windows. And then you'll go through and do the same thing on the interior, just like they've shown here. And basically, it's going to be exactly like what the textbook looks like. Okay, with the exception of there's no doors and windows, which means I got them turned off here. And so this is what you're going to look like when you get done with it. Like I said, this one was missing from the textbook. This 3'6" for this wall right here. Other than that, I think everything comes out the same as what is shown in the textbook. And I'm stumbling around here a little bit because wherever you go to work, they will have a standard for how you dimension. Okay, the textbook is showing it this way, like from left side of wall to left side of wall, or top side of wall to top side of wall, or bottom of wall, bottom of wall. What I have seen is instead of a continued dimension like this, is they would dimension from exterior here to interior, and then they would start here, interior to interior, and it's all like that. And there would be a gap. There would be no dimension in the middle there. There'd be a note on the drawing that says all interior walls are, 2x4 stud unless noted otherwise. And then when you have say a wet wall for a bathroom that is made of a 2x6, that would be dimensioned the actual stud thickness at 5.5 inches. And then you'll see a 4-inch dimension on the exterior wall to show that it includes the sheathing. Anyway, okay, so do your dimensions, and like I said, it's easier if you dimension one and then do continue, because then they're all lined up together, and then do a baseline to get the next row started. And that way it has the correct spacing between each of the views. Okay, so you can get these dimensions in, put them on the A-floor dims layer. Okay, and then save your drawing, and then we'll come back and start talking about windows.